I'm Kirby.
I'm Cameron.
And I'm Matt.
And this is the Real Gamerscore podcast. We are your source for Xbox achievement news, Gamerscore tips, and Godwin's Law. This week we talk about the confidence of God mode, the brilliance of Ori, and the boom of Crackdown. And, podcast happens after. But first, here's the song of the week. Finally, someone boosted me up in this game. Now I'm higher on the boards, but this true skill is lame. Now I'm nearing the top. Now searching for the pop. I'm so close to done, and I've run out of fun. It's maddening. Bet you thought I'd stop before I got this far. Leave me with the scar. Look, I know it's all saddening. Cheeves and grinds, I can find all those different minds. Chicks and guys making all of those solution guides. Pictures too, getting guides all up on YouTube. You wanna contribute? You think it's easy, dude? Voiceover? Maybe some editing. Macca who goes out to you and guides you through when you're too lazy. 1K to sum the definition for what life is. I say play all the time, don't worry about that life biz. You get home, you're diving and boosting your boxing, go watching and popping. The game's never stopping. Okay. That's tough.
That's a tough
one. I nearly got through in like one breath.
Good singing.
It's actually not that tough. I just am awful at writing rap lyrics. Lyrics.
I mean, I got the song, so they got that at least.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad somebody did.
Yeah. I'm really glad somebody did because...
this is definitely not my genre of music.
I bet it is. I guarantee you 100% you know this song. 100% guarantee.
Okay.
Just may have been a while since you've heard it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was tough because there was some lines that rhymed and I'm like, I don't know how to make that rhyme. And
I've got no idea.
Yeah.
I concede defeat.
Right. Matt, what is it?
It's the Gorillas.
Yes, it is. It's the Gorillas. Do you know the song, though?
The song, I know the song. I'm just trying to remember what the name was for it.
It's like completely unrelated to the song entirely. It's just...
Yeah, I was actually listening to it today. Was it on their Plastic Beach album? I'm trying to remember.
You're asking a lot of me.
Sorry, yes, it was either on Feel Good Inc. or it was on Plastic Beach.
I think it was Feel Good Inc.
Yeah, I've never heard of this then.
You have.
Yeah, you definitely have.
Are you sure?
Sorry. Oh, sorry. Yeah, Demon Days was the album.
This is...
It's not Dare. It's not Feel Good.
No, it's actually before...
Because I was going to say Feel Good's the only song I can actually think of.
What album's it in? I don't know what... Don't know what album it's in.
Is it... Okay, I don't know. What's the song?
No, I'll tell you in the break.
Unbelievable.
Okay. Give the audience who definitely don't know it either, but give them a chance. Yeah, it was definitely that cut where I went is definitely not going to be in there. That's going to be gone. I'll definitely remember this time.
ChinDocta editing skills.
Yeah. Okay, but as you can hear, still no Alex. He's holidaying away with his newly beloved wife. Congratulations to those two. More on him, who is surely punching above his weight. No doubt.
I mean, apparently he's also pregnant.
Yeah, Cameron is telling... apparently he's pregnant. Do you have any more info on this, Cameron?
Nothing recently.
His wife's not pregnant. He is.
Yeah,
that's what I hear.
Yeah. TMZ reporter Cameron.
It's like 99% confirmed. Just need to hear it from the source.
Yeah.
It's like, no, we don't know, but we are reporting it.
Doesn't sound any different to anyone else, really.
Yep.
It's exactly how it works.
Regardless. Also mentioned were cane toads were somewhat involved.
Yes, there were mention of cane toads. Making the best of an invasive species, apparently.
Yeah. Have you guys never... I guess maybe you wouldn't have done cane toad racing before.
never knew it was a thing.
Yeah,
I mean,
you
it makes
live that
sense
far
now.
south, do you?
And no, it makes sense hearing it now, but like I've never, like I've travelled to Queensland like once.
How far south are they? They're not further south than Queensland yet.
I'd say southern Queensland would be.
Yeah,
but I may be wrong. There might be parts of New South Wales.
They're just infested everywhere, and definitely not New Zealand. You guys weren't dumb.
No, yeah, I just figured out the song. It's Clint Eastwood by the Gorillaz.
It is Clint Eastwood. Yeah. Now, Cameron, I'll send the song to you. As soon as you hear it, you'll know it. I guarantee it.
Okay.
It's an old pop song.
And if I give you a blank stare, meaning
you're unconscious
you
swine.
have terrible taste in music.
Okay. Well, this is true, so yeah.
Yeah. That's good. Yeah, Clint Eastwood. That was
Took a while.
it was tough.
That took me way too long, but good job.
Yeah. But yeah, Kanto racing, which should be fun for him. He needs to. Well, the thing is, you need to kiss your Kanto for good luck, the one that you bet on.
Oh, okay.
I don't think he knows this yet.
He's going to find out.
So that'll be fun. Yeah. We'll have to find out whether it's better or worse than his wife. I don't know.
I was going to say, please keep that in the podcast.
I don't know that I'm going to be on the podcast much longer, guys. I think I've got next week while he's away, and then when he's back, I'm gone.
Oh, mate, he's going to be on those pregnancy hormones. It's going to be rough.
Yeah. If you want to join me and abuse Alex live, you can do it in our Discord, discord.io/realgamerscore. We're on there. Most of us are on there pretty much all the time, and there's usually conversation to be had. But yeah, just abuse Alex. That's what we do. Abuse Cameron. We do that too. Abuse Matt. Abuse all of us. That's really all that happens in our Discord is we talk about games, then abuse each other a little bit.
1% gaming, 99% abuse.
Yeah. If you would like to help us out on Patreon, you can do it at patreon.com/realgamerscore. I only mention that because we have our Patreon prize drawing this week. I did draw it not live because Cameron and Neomaster are both on the podcast, so if I did it live, it was obviously going to be rigged. So I did this beforehand.
It's okay, you can rig it.
I could rig it, yeah, I could.
I mean, you probably had to rig it to make sure I didn't win again.
Yeah, it's just, I drew Neomaster's name 7 times in a row, so No, again. Eventually I just got rid of him so that I could find someone else, and even then it's still, his name popped up, so I don't, just go figure. No, but in actuality, our June, yep, it's for June, had to think a little bit, our June Patreon winner is Dinoball.
Woo!
Woo!
Indeed, woo. I said that, and I just see Cameron's face drop. He's like, that's not my name. That's not my gamer tag.
I mean, I have this many different names I've been told to go by now. I'm sure one of them is eventually bound to win.
Well, I mean, the way Discord and the gamer tag system's working now, you could just change your name to Dino Bull and just tell Chin that you're him and get the prize. He would never know.
Yeah, our conversation history would definitely disappear on Discord. Would definitely not. That would definitely not exist anymore.
I'm looking forward to the I'm Dino Bull messages coming through from everybody.
God, it's gonna be, because there is a fair few people that I don't have conversation histories with. Oh, it's gonna be awful. Moving on from that, we also have our random to-do list drawing. So the prize for last month was Tid Wag Vir Niemand, which is Time Waits for No Man. I have dived this earlier today. I don't know what's going on, so congratulations to whoever has won this, because hopefully you'll be able to explain it to me. Our random to-do list winner, though, we had 8 entries. I don't know why Cameron is crossing his fingers. He knows he didn't get one in. Like, I don't know why he's super excited. He's like, yeah, it might be me despite not entering. No, but our winner for June is, another drum roll, Kronos, or Expovos.
Expovos, yep.
Yeah, Expovos.
Man,
So yeah, congratulations to him. as for July, we've got our new list. If you'd like to get a random to-do list, which is 25 achievements in your locked achievements on trueachievements.com, and you can just unlock them at your leisure, then send a message to the random to-do list account on TA or to myself on TA or Discord, and I'll get you sorted with a list and try not to break everything as I have in the past couple days. But our prize, we have a nice prize for July. I have to think, what month are we in? We're off to a stunning start, boys. We have a good prize for July. We have a code for the recently released Stranger Things 3 the game. So that'll be nice. I think it's a tactical strategy turn-based game, so pretty interesting. It does go through everything in Stranger Things Season 3 as well as some extra bits, so if you haven't seen it and you are interested in watching it, I would watch it first, but you've got all July to do that. To enter into this contest, you need to earn an achievement in the random to-do list contest and answer the trivia question of another game, or the only other game, with the word stranger in the title. This is a difficult one. This does have a stack, but it's a reasonably obscure title. If you search on True Achievements, you will see 2 different games come up. One of them is not released yet. That one will not count. Only the one that has a stack and is currently released will count. That's all the housekeeping done, though. We have, if you have obviously heard throughout this whole introduction and at the very start, that we have Cameron and Matt joining us tonight. How are you doing tonight?
I'm good. Yourself?
I was really hoping you both start talking at the same time.
I was waiting for it too, but I know that Cameron just doesn't shut up, so I figured I'd let him go first.
Hey, that's not entirely
Incorrect. That's not false. Okay, now that Cameron's
Objection!
done, how you doing, Matt? Oh, he's not done.
See what I mean?
That was good timing. That was a perfect example. How are you doing, Matt?
I'm doing very well, thank you. Thanks for having me on
Back
again.
for another week. Yeah. That lovely. I swear. Is that a couch behind you?
No, so what it is I'm sitting in my bed, but I have a spare futon behind me as a headrest.
That's what I thought, because I'm like, I have a mattress that looks identical to that fabric.
Yep, it's the same mattress that every poor college student pretty much had on their floor at some stage.
Yeah. That just looked eerily familiar, and if you had a couch in that material, it would have been real confusing. News for this week. There is some stuff. There's a little bit of stuff. It's not all that interesting, but didn't we know about this ages ago, Cameron? Or has it just been released? The one on the top. It's just been released? Okay, well, you can give us a... So Microsoft is partnering with Lynx or Axe in the US?
That's the equivalent, but I believe this is only for Australia, so Lynx.
Yeah, okay, just Lynx. Oh, only in Australia. Hopefully New Zealand too, otherwise we'll have to just save some and give it to you at PAX.
Yeah, see, that's kind of why I was going to make a joke about that, because I have checked out my stores, and unfortunately, I tried to follow the smell of Doritos and Mountain Dew, but I didn't find anything except for some sad guy in one of the aisles.
Oh, I've been using the last few days. It's actually got like a really nice like herbal citrus smell to it.
Yeah. We haven't actually said what it is yet, so...
Oh, yeah, true.
I'm waiting. I'm wondering what everyone's thinking. I've been using this the last couple of days, and it's citrusy. I'm just wondering what everyone was thinking at home, going, what is he using that's citrusy that they don't have anywhere else? Okay, this is a deodorant and a shower gel, body gel, antiperspirant spray. So you can use it in your shower, or you can just use it in your general, I don't want to smell like a filthy boy. Yep. Like I do now, unfortunately. My deodorant's run out. Oh, that's awful. No, but yeah, so it smells citrusy. Like, what kind of citrus? Because that's...
Their description of it is Lynx Xbox is a fresh scent of pulsing green citrus featuring top notes of kaffir, lime, and winter lemon, aromatic herbal middle notes of mint and sage, and woody bottom notes of how do I pronounce
patchouli.
that? Patchouli and clearwood.
Yeah.
Okay. There was
actually good. And
It's actually quite nice. I was surprised. There was a really great description that I've been trying to find where it was like it's like the boom from Crackdown.
Yeah.
Like when it was originally
when it was
getting announced.
First announced.
But it's not bad by any length of the imagination. I thought it would be like rip off Link's Africa, which I'm not a fan of.
Link's Africa is kind of that. Everyone used Link's Africa back in the day. That was the
pretty much. It was the go-to.
Yeah.
It was the go-to for driving away women.
Oh, it was, yeah.
Hey, I've got my face to do that.
I find it really interesting how, and this is not just the fact that this is good is interesting. Like the sense is good. What I find more interesting is now it's so much more common to denote the top, middle, and bass notes in the scent, which is I feel like that's not something everyone necessarily understands from their perfumery school, you know? Like I see it in candles as well.
Sure. Yeah, there's the sommeliers, or like a wine pairing.
Yeah. We've all been to our perfumery school and we absolutely understand this. Essentially, your top note is your first 5 to 10 minutes of scent. Middle notes is the first 2 to 3 hours, and the base notes is what you get for the rest of the day.
Who says this podcast isn't educational?
Yeah, that's the educational smelling section of the podcast. No, it's not smelling.
That's going to be the one thing you get.
Because I like candles, and now I enjoy scented candles, and now all the candles have all this information. I'm like, okay, like this is useless to. It's just one of those things where if you throw a bunch of information at people, they'll think it's fancier.
Yeah,
I get
To be fair, Xbox branded links. I mean, who doesn't already think that's fancy? They really don't need to do any more work.
I know, right? It's green. So what more could you want?
Absolutely. I'm basically anosmic, so I barely have a sense of smell. So we'll see how this goes for me.
Oh, didn't know that about both of you.
Yeah, I've got an extremely weak sense of smell. And I think that's...
You thrive at PAX, I guess, because you're not weighed down by the scent of all the sweaty, horrible people.
I think when you deal with...
That's also what I was thinking, is they really do this a few months too early if they want some sort of branding deal with the convention, right?
Yeah. Be interesting to see how that goes. No, that's I didn't realise it was out yet, so I'm going to have to go out and have a look and see if I can find some.
It came out in my stores, I think Wednesday. Midweek.
Okay. Yeah.
Sorry, it was released Wednesday. It started coming out to regional stores.
Yeah, it launched in July, so fair enough. I had no idea about it. That's interesting. I'm glad
I must have missed the midnight launch.
Yeah. Man, my dogs really want to get in. Moving on, we have a delay in the Cuphead DLC. So, what a lovely reason, I was going to say reason they've given for the Cuphead delay. The DLC has been delayed to 2020 in a bid to avoid development crunch. Yay, good PR.
Yeah, I feel like this is a rehash of the discussion we had where we were talking about Randy Pitchford talking about there not being loot boxes in video games, where it's like people are getting rounds of applause for being decent human beings rather than actually doing anything good.
Yeah, I feel like you shouldn't need to say we're trying to avoid crunch and that's why it's delayed. Just say it's delayed, and people can get over it. I guess by saying, even if it's not to avoid crunch, by saying that, maybe people will give them some more slack. Like, oh, you're doing it to avoid crunch. That's okay then. Not we didn't really manage this project well, and now it's delayed.
Spiraling out of control for a game that came out like a couple of years ago.
I find it funny though that paragraph in there. Studio MDHR said the development of Cuphead taught the company a great deal about the importance of making things in a way that's healthy and sustainable. The game was originally meant to be released in 2015, was later delayed to 2017, and then to was delayed to 2016 and then to mid-2017 before finally launching in September 2017. So
Yeah, well, that's because it was too hard.
Yeah, they had
It was too hard before.
too many journalists playing it. They couldn't get through the tutorial.
They just assumed it was way too
that
difficult.
video.
And they went, I guess we have to drop it down a little bit. We have to put it in the easy mode. Does that mean to make fun of the journalists who can't double jump?
Look, that video is absolutely notorious. And look, I'm not that great at
it's
video
lovely.
games, but come on.
Yeah, I feel like there's just a...
was it like
It's not a
9?
double jump, it's a parry, so you do have to hit another button. I feel like they assumed it was the same button, and it wasn't working, so then they just stopped reading.
Well, I mean, on the plus side, in 2020, maybe they'll put it in a new tutorial and we'll get to see the person do a new video.
It'd be great. Imagine if they had to slide under something.
Oh, wow.
Trying to jump.
It's a whole live stream right there.
Yeah. So, Cuphead DLC delayed, so I guess if you're looking forward to that, unfortunate. Related, still no achievements on the Switch. Not that I was necessarily expecting them, but maybe they're waiting for this DLC and drop it in one go. Don't know.
Yeah.
Hasn't stopped Minecraft from getting updates.
I'm wondering if it's coming out 2020. I mean, are they talking early 2020 or are they talking like 2020?
Scarlet?
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Is it like, are they going to do like an up-res version? I mean, as up-res as that kind of art style gets or something? Is it like a...
You could see the artist's hands
Yeah, exactly,
as they're
right.
drawing.
How much better could they get
like
from
anytime
where
someone
they're
talks about games coming out in 2020, like outside of fiscal year, so anything after March, you kind of start thinking, well, okay, new consoles coming out in November. What are you really going to be putting out after the fiscal year to try it before that happens? Like, I get the feeling we're going to have a really quiet 2020.
At least in terms of the big stuff, there's going to
Sure.
you still get the flood of ID at Xbox, which I mean is great. The less big stuff I have to worry about, the more I can focus on the little things. But yeah, it'd be tough to make that decision of yes, we're going to release in July, miss the window for Scarlet, you know, or I don't know.
Yeah, they're going to straddle the line, like, because the talk from Phil Spencer was that if you bought something on the Xbox One, it'll be playable on the Scarlet, right? And so the way I've been looking at it is things like Play Anywhere, for example. You buy it on one system, you buy it on the PC, you can play it on the Xbox. You buy it on the Xbox, you play it on the PC.
Yeah.
So if you think about it, it would make logical sense for it. You buy it on the Xbox One, you can play it on the PC, and you can play it on the Scarlet. And there might be some minor graphical or performance stuff that the Scarlet gets out of it, but I'm sure there'll be plenty of games that fill that niche to be the sort of cross-gen stuff rather than getting two versions like we did when the Xbox 360 and Xbox One sort of stuff. You know, we had two Assassin's Creeds and two Call of Duty Ghosts and that sort of stuff. I don't see that happening again.
Watching Dogs?
Yeah, Watching Dogs.
I think Sleeping Dogs and Watch Dogs both came into made at the same time, even though Sleeping Dogs was well after.
Yes.
Never mind. Yeah. The other thing with that is where at some point there have to be games that only play on Scarlet because at some point the developers have to stop making their game work for a much lower system.
Right, yeah, because that's the problem the Xbox One X sort of ran into, is that they had no exclusives for it, which made sense because there's no point segmenting an already small audience. But all current Xbox One games are hampered by the lowest hardware they have to be built for.
Yeah, which was that original Xbox One, and that's yes, you have the enhanced updates and stuff, but that's not really the same as having a game that completely utilizes that One X.
Yeah.
I don't know how we got here.
So that's just me on my next gen tangent. It seems like every episode I'm on, I just can't help but talk about it.
Yeah. No.
It's the next best thing, though.
The latest game we know is Cyberpunk in April.
Yep.
I don't think we know anything anything major. I mean, FIFA, whatever, is going to come out in September for both consoles. Probably, you know, your standard yearly sports titles will come out, but proper games, I don't think I can think of anything. After
Watch Dogs
April.
3 What's the release date on
It's
that?
Legion.
Is that March?
Yeah, I think they're getting right in before the end of the financial year.
6th of March.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm trying to think what other titles there are. I know that they've been showing a lot more stuff off for... is it Gods and Monsters? The Ubisoft title?
Yeah, the one they
Made
showed
by
that little
the-
trailer for.
Yeah.
But that looks
there's
like a
been
next-gen game.
Yeah. I don't know if there's anything being said about that, but I can't think of anything else. Other than, yearly titles.
But yeah, anything 2020 just seems like it's not far away, but it is kind of far away in a weird way.
In terms of the life of
These current consoles.
development. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just looking at Just Dance 2020 is going to be on the Wii.
Yeah, that's the final Wii game.
Ridiculous. Anyway, the first... This is just... Where was this on Reddit, Cameron?
On...
Reputable source, or have you just found some random...
no, it was...
Its way onto Reddit.
I was trying... I was trying to find an actual link to the source, but I know that some Xbox insiders are getting to test the xCloud stuff, and that's apparently screenshots of the 17 games that are available for testing at this stage. So there's Crackdown 3, Disneyland Adventures, some Forza titles, some Gears titles, Halos, Killer Instinct, Rare Replay, some of that stuff.
Okay.
Makes sense.
Yeah, can't...
First-party stuff or stuff that's running on Game Pass.
Yep, pretty much first part. The only non-first party we have is Super Lucky's Tale, Rush. So 2 Disneyland Adventures, the Rush Disney Pixar Adventure, and Super Lucky's Tale are the only titles that aren't first party.
Right.
Well, technically, Hellblade is technically first party.
Is now, yeah.
Yeah.
Looking at this list, though, assuming xCloud is not great, Forza is going to be tough. Gears and Halo are going to be tough.
Yeah.
Killer Instinct is going to be really interesting.
Yeah.
Having a fighting game
games
on
is
there.
sort of the real test of a streaming platform, right?
Yeah. Because running it, assuming we're running at 60 frames, that 130 milliseconds of lag is 8 frames? Something like that? 8-10 frames? So
That makes all the
that's
difference.
a reasonably big amount in a fighting game. Now, it's not to say that it's going to be the end of it. Maybe you only match up with other xCloud people. We don't know
possibly.
how those pools are going to work, but assuming this list is 110% legitimate, it'd be very interesting to see how it goes. Killer Instinct will be the test. I think Forza Motorsport 7 will also be very indicative. Gears is Gears. Like, your shooters are going to be... Maybe they just up the auto aim. It's...
I mean, the thing we need to potentially think about is that obviously we're talking about how lag can affect performance and that sort of stuff with streaming, but the other side of it is that one of the advantages, and I use advantage kind of in air quotes, of streaming is that they can reduce image quality to preserve fidelity if it needs to, which is something that most video games don't really do. I mean, like, obviously you get things about pop-in and that sort of stuff, but streaming gives you the option to optimize for whatever situation you're in. I mean, people aren't going to be happy about it because people want to do, 4K 60 all the time. But realistically, I would take a 60 frames per second experience at 720 or 1080 over anything that was 4K running at 30 or less.
Yeah, especially when you're trying to do a Twitch shooter or a fighting game. And, no one... Is there any phone that can play 4K? There are a couple, but...
Yes, I mean, back in the day, the LGs tend to have 4K screens. I mean, the batteries last about 5 minutes. But Yeah, I mean, but like 4K with OLEDs or stuff like that, not so much. I mean,
Yeah.
they're all top of the line sort of things. You know, you'd be looking at your Samsungs or your like top end LGs.
Yeah, and the other thing is, if you can afford a phone with a 4K screen, you can afford a PC that can run 4K and has. I mean, again, you're streaming, so it doesn't really matter. But
True.
you've got the PC that can handle it, so you've got 4K monitors with the world's fastest internet. So yeah, it's a weird thing that the people who would be playing on their phones could probably then afford to do it elsewhere, because if the phone can do it, yeah.
Yeah. Although to be fair, I mean, they were talking about how, or Xbox were talking about how streaming wasn't their be all end all. It was kind of a nice addition, and xCloud is something they obviously want to be working on going forward in the next sort of 10 years probably. But they got to start now, right? And it's a good marketing piece for them, and it's a good option to have. I mean, look at like remote play and that sort of stuff. The PlayStation's had that for yonks.
Mm-hmm.
It's and it is nice, like running on an internal network, to be able to stream stuff to my PC when my TV's in use, so I can still play Xbox One on the PC. But if I'm outside of my house wanting to do that, I can't. It's just not possible.
Yeah.
So I mean, that added ability, and that's not that's essentially just taking my console and streaming the actual image to somewhere else, which they said they're not going to charge for, and that's just kind of a standard feature, which sounds really good. Going beyond that into actually streaming from a data center somewhere is a whole different story. But I think, sort of baby steps, for sure.
Yeah, and it's a nice way to get people into the ecosystem.
Yeah, exactly.
And introduce them, and then you potentially have a customer for a console. And yeah, as you've said, it is super early days. And as long as it doesn't completely flop and crash and burn, then I can imagine it just gets stronger in 5 years' time and is worth doing potentially. But you have to start at some point, and with Stadia coming, the later you start, the smaller chunk of the market you potentially can get.
Yeah. Although Stadia really might be the one that crashes and burns, considering they don't really have any alternative if the streaming doesn't work.
Yeah. Again, interesting for the future of gaming, not necessarily for us, but it'd be good to see where all this goes and how this works out. The July 2019 Xbox update. Update is a strong word there. It's a strong term for what you've pulled out in front of me, Major Nelson. Larry. We have some new features for Xbox Game Pass. A play later feature. So you can, I guess, tag games play later when you're using the Game Pass mobile app, and it'll be a group on your homepage on the dash on your Xbox One. So I guess it makes it easier to remember what games you wanted to play.
Sure. I think what they've done is basically stolen the Netflix idea of adding something to your list, so it shows up every now and then when you go, oh, hey, what can I watch?
Yeah.
But I think the problem is that, first of all, Game Pass doesn't have enough games to make that a really useful thing right now. I mean, they obviously have quite a few games, but the sheer amount of content that you get on a streaming platform, and also the content doesn't change often enough for that to be a more important feature.
Yeah, and the way they've implemented Game Pass in the My Games and Apps section itself is done really well. So why do you need a specific spot on the front section when you can look and see what Game Pass games you have installed, what ones you don't have installed, and make a group from there,
Yeah, exactly. But I guess it's just sort of an idea to get people using the app or have some reason for downloading it in the first place.
Yeah. Yeah. The other thing that they've introduced is Xbox skill for Alexa is expanding to more countries and has some new voice commands specifically for Game Pass. So we have Australia, Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Mexico, and Spain all now have Xbox skill for Alexa support. and you can do some voice commands with the Alexa now with your Game Pass, like Alexa, ask Xbox what's new on Game Pass. Buy. Yes. Just assume I bought something for someone, but that's okay.
I like the fact though that you can actually ask it who's online, what are they playing, and go from there too.
Yeah. Okay.
It sort of expands on some of that functionality that the Kinect used to have.
Yeah.
I have a reasonably large pool of friends, and a lot of them are online a lot.
But are they really friends?
Yeah, I'm so
Alexa
popular.
to-
I'm ChinDocta.
No. They're quote-unquote friends with in your friends list. I don't want Alexa spending 20 minutes telling me what everyone's playing.
But it'd be nice
And
though.
then she gets to you and she goes, Shadowless, I don't know how to say this name. Is it Edge or Hedge or Reg? I'm
Or
confused.
Bush.
Yeah, like...
No shade bush.
I
No
can't
shade
wait
bush.
for Alexa to tell me X this and just melt.
But
Expoverse is playing something.
I mean, you'll always know what Massage is playing at least.
Massage. I don't know. If
I mean, if it has a functionality where you can pick out like a send friend, like
favorites.
is
Yeah.
Neomaster playing online right now? I'd be like, oh, cool. I can
The answer is probably yes.
probably yes, probably like 99% of the time yes, except for when he's filming recording a podcast and doesn't tell you, and you think he's just disappeared off the face of the planet. No stabs. But I reckon if it's specific to a person, I don't want it reading through like my 200 so-called friends and telling me what every single person is doing.
Yeah. Alexa, ask Xbox to pair my controller. I get maybe people are further away from their console, but if I've bought a brand new controller, I'm syncing it wired. Because it takes...
I mean, I sync wirelessly anyway, but
Yeah.
it's not that difficult to do. I guess I'm wondering how the
you
setup
have to get up
works.
and push a button, which
Yeah.
might be tougher. Yes, this is not for us. This is for people who may have more trouble getting up and doing that.
Okay,
Which I hadn't actually thought about till now, and I feel really bad. This is accessibility, which is great.
this is
It is fantastic. I've just thought about that, and it is more difficult for the gamer in a wheelchair to sync up a controller, roll over to the Xbox, push the buttons, and especially if the Xbox is a bit lower. So not such a bad idea, and I'm just a terrible person.
I mean,
look,
we already knew both those things.
Yeah.
I reckon it's great. Even that, it's just convenience too. Like, I'll give you an example. Okay, Google, turn master bedroom light off. No.
Oh, I was about to say,
okay.
nothing
Pretty
happened.
Okay, Google, turn
nothing has
master
happened.
bedroom
He's
light
looking
on.
silly at us. No. The light turned off. So you
Just voice
have
functionalities.
Bluetooth lights?
I have
What do you have? Hue bulbs?
no. I've got like the cheap version, but I
Okay.
got 10 of them, and just, I can set them to certain times and all that. I just reckon it's accessibility.
cool.
It's great. But
I mean, look, it's a cool idea. I mean, I never want any of that stuff in my house ever because I'm a Luddite. But if you already have an Alexa or you're at this sort of smart home setup or anything like that, it does make sense to have it work with as many things as possible.
Yeah, it does. Again, being reasonably able-bodied, I've just never struggled to hit the light switch. If I'm in bed, maybe that could be useful for me, but I've never really struggled with that.
it will change
And
your
I've
life.
I've never felt the need to like have the clap on, clap off. $50 billion invention,
Yep.
Yeah. But when I can only see with one eye, I'll find this way more useful. Oh, that's not the switch. Oh, that's not the switch. There it is, in the middle somewhere. Yeah. Okay. And now the bigger one. It's not even... I don't know how to... Just do it. Okay, just dive in. Both feet. A news story came out from gamesindustry.biz, who are fairly well reputable, talking about an interview with, who is it? Matt Bilby. Is that really? That's a Bilby. What is EVP? EVP of Strategic Growth at EA. What is that? EVP of a company. Employee... No, that's definitely not it.
Something vice president?
The VP is probably vice president, yeah.
Yeah.
Could be entertainment vice president.
Employee...
Executive vice president?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay. For what now? For strategic growth.
Probably like breaking into like new sectors. It's probably just fancy way of saying market growth.
Yeah, but why? Why do you need to have this confusing title?
Because you want to talk yourself up.
Visceral. Didn't strategically grow in the horror department, did you, buddy? Okay. Yeah, an interview with Matt Bilby. Just... He's not happy that EA is considered the bad guy. And I would argue, then stop being the bad guy. Stop. No. Before we get into this, though, something we should probably everyone should stop doing is seeing the company as a single entity and not 3,500 employees who all reasonably have different opinions and don't want to do evil things necessarily, but most of the decisions are out of their hands and they just kind of want to keep their job, so they just have to do things like defending their surprise mechanics, who if that is not a mascot at some point, just like a Jack-in-a-Box where it's a mechanic.
Have you seen Sterling's latest couple of videos he's been doing?
I love it.
Some incredible stuff.
It's so dumb, but it's brilliant. Like
the surprise mechanic. Yeah, he's a literal mechanic that surprises you.
No, but he doesn't like the perception that EA is considered a bad entity. I don't know.
At the risk of inflicting Godwin's law, I mean, the Nazis did say exactly the same thing, right? I was only following orders. I'm just trying to keep my job, you know.
Yeah.
No, but seriously, I get what he's saying, right? From a human point of view, you don't want to work somewhere that's associated with being the worst company in America, right?
Yeah.
There's something soul crushing about going to your job and being a hated human being for the things that you do, when what you do is make video games, right? You're not a general running child soldiers in Africa. You're not a pharmaceutical company charging huge amounts of cash for insulin. Like, on the grand scheme of things, video games are not the biggest deal in the world.
Yeah, at your core, you're trying to make fun things that people enjoy. How you go about that is questionable, but that is the essence of what you're trying to do. You're also trying to make money, because you're a business and you are publicly traded, so whether you make money or not is important.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you're beholden to your shareholders above anything else.
Yeah. And they mentioned, there's awards for marketing and stuff where EA would never get voted despite being the number one publisher in the UK. They never got any votes and would be booed when their name was read out as a nominee, because it's kind of like jumping on the bandwagon. Like, I wonder how many people there actually cared enough about what EA did, or people were booing, let's just boo them kind of thing. Like, how many marketing people really know exactly sort of what is going on at EA with their stuff?
Well, to be fair, considering how good EA is at their marketing, people know about them pretty well.
Amazing.
They just don't win any awards for it.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I'm just having a look into the years that they won that worst company in America. It's 2012, 2013. Did they stop doing those awards after 2014?
No, it moved on.
I moved on? Okay.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, they definitely did.
I mean, start of the generation, like the console generation, them winning that wouldn't have had. Yeah. I don't know. I don't personally myself view them as the bad guys, but there's always been that stigma in the community. And I mean, there's been some great stuff that's coming out lately, like A Way Out. Like, this is all the smaller stuff, but
And that's something he brings up, is that the EA Originals thing that they do, which has brought out Faye and A Way Out, and
that's it. Faye
recently released Sea of Solitude. That the deal that they do with the smaller game developer, is ridiculously favorable for the developer.
Yeah.
The majority of the money goes back to the developer. I think EA cover their marketing costs or whatever, and then the rest goes to the developer, which I don't believe they spend they don't go out of their way to spend 100 million on marketing A Way Out so that they will get 100 million before the dev makes any money, you know?
Yeah.
So it is a very good deal for those developers, and it is good PR, especially when their games come out and they are well received and they are different and polished and reasonably good quality, like A Way Out is, like hopefully Sea of Solitude that I bought and will be playing today. It's just the other things they do, like purchasing developers and then crushing them.
I mean, it's a big business, right? And as we're talking about people, they have so many people working for them. A lot of those people are going to be good people, but a lot of those people are still going to be bad people. I mean, unfortunately, the people who tend to be the worst are the ones making the decisions at the top, right? Because they're so far removed from those sort of initiatives. Like, obviously, like EA don't do that out of the goodness of their own heart, right? They obviously right, like there is still an incentive. No one is truly altruistic.
yeah.
Obviously, like it's good for the developer. Like it's a good deal, but they still get good press. They still get rights to use it. They still have a lot of control over things like that. But yeah, I mean, they're probably not the worst, but I'm definitely not going to apologize for all the poor decisions that they've made around things like microtransactions and loot boxes and yearly releases of video games, and I mean, and just losing franchise. I mean, look at Star Wars for an example. I mean, we've talked about this before, right? Where it's just, how do they manage to go this many years with the Star Wars license and release two Star Wars games, both of them Battlefront, both of them pretty bad, and just rotten with microtransactions and grinding and sense of accomplishment. And the only other game they did was their was it Galactic Heroes? Their
mobile
free to play mobile game that's basically just a massive cash sink.
Because they all are. Everything EA does with mobile is designed to suck your money up. Because it becomes, now that they're in that free to play model, they can go really hard at the free to play mechanics. Because now they're justified, because it didn't cost, they would feel justified. We didn't charge you for this game, so now we're really gonna push this free to play stuff.
Yeah, and I mean, as someone who plays a free to play game quite often, it's pretty insidious stuff. I mean, Neverwinter hits you with so many deals, so many best value for buying things, or grinds to with random drops. And now, for example, I'll probably get into it when we get into the games we're playing, but there's a part of content called Expeditions in the latest mod where you can run that 3 times a day. That's it. So if you get nothing out of those 3 times, that's it. You're done for the day. You basically just got to put the game down or go and try and grind something else out. Or you can try and buy something on the marketplace of someone else who went on one of those expeditions to sell something. And it's the way they get in there and just try and incentivize through grindy mechanics or just unfair stuff, or trying to get people invested into things. It's yeah, like I don't want to bash on EA completely because they're definitely not the only people that do this. So many all the companies are doing it basically, right? Which I mean, makes it worse really because it's kind of impossible to avoid. But I mean, EA is definitely the one that gets the flack for it the most because I mean, look at like FIFA and the sports games and that sort of stuff. It's like they're not hated for no reason. I think is the point I'm trying to get across. Like this didn't just suddenly happen. Like everyone got together and decided and said, "Oh, those EA guys, those guys suck." It's like, well, no, they tried to nickel and dime everybody on every single game they made and made their games shallower and shallower and more grindy to try and incentivize people to pull out their credit cards after they'd already bought the game. Like, what do they think was going to happen?
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. EA was the one that went up in front of UK Parliament and said, "Oh, these aren't loot boxes. They're
Yeah, we don't call them
surprise mechanics.
surprise mechanics." That's it. Yeah, it was EA.
Yeah, that was them. Yeah.
I mean, like,
and that was.
you don't want to be seen as the bad guys. Like, why are you going?
But then that's her job. She can't just say, yeah, we're awful people. Sue the crap out of us. She has to defend them.
Yeah,
and she has to say something at that point because it's it's court hearing of sorts. So she can't just sit there in silence and think nothing's going to happen. So at that point, she has to say something, and we're not going to like the answer because they have to try and spin it in a way where it doesn't seem like they're doing something wrong.
I mean, in all fairness, though, and they'll never do this, they could so easily just front up about exactly what they're doing, and it wouldn't change anything.
The more misleading you are, the worse it's going to look.
Exactly. It's kind of the thing is that it's not so much that they do it, it's that they have the gall to pretend like they're not doing it.
Yeah.
And I think that's what really gets to people, because if they were just open and admitted that they needed this money for this, that, and the other, look, people would still hate them. But people would be like, okay, well, at least you're honest about it. But it's like, the fact that they try to say, oh, no, these are ethical surprise mechanics, they're not loot boxes, and they're definitely not gambling. And you just like, look, come on, don't try and pull the wool over our eyes.
Yeah.
I mean, normally I would say something a lot more vulgar, but sure, like what are they trying? Who are they trying to fool? Right? None of us are falling for that.
None of us gamers are falling for that, but I mean,
sure,
people in Parliament. That's where I'm.
Come on, none of them. Give them 2 seconds. I mean, they've dealt with oil executives and all the kind of stuff trying to spin things.
I just
realistically, I mean,
kind of makes me worry to an extent.
Whether they actually care or anything comes of it, who knows, right? But it's not a good look for them. And sure, there are individuals working there who and like I think there's a fine line between disagreeing with the company's policies and how they do things, and doxing employees or harassing people online and that sort of stuff. Like people need to understand that there are people who work at the company, and then there's the company, and the higher up you get, the more of those things are closer together. But at the bottom levels, you're right, people need a job, right? And they're not killing baby seals with hammers, right? They make video games.
Who uses a hammer?
Well, I mean, look.
The
Magic Card's making so you can't use clubs anymore.
Okay, all right. The other, just quickly before we wrap all this talk up, the other thing that was mentioned was when EA does something wrong, it's more noticeable because EA is big. Like if a small developer did it, they wouldn't get attacked as much as EA would because EA is bigger. But that just comes with the territory of selling more games to more people.
Exactly.
Like,
the other thing is that
more people.
Exactly,
so
and if a smaller dev did it, they just wouldn't sell any video games.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's more risk when it comes to smaller devs. But even like stuff like it's not purely like just EA, like Activision with the massive layoffs after the profit, making what profit they did. Just if you're going to do something bad, it's going to be seen pretty quickly, and it's going to be
viewed. Yeah, we live in the internet age, and if you're going to be laying people off or trying to exploit people, yeah, we're probably going to hear about it. I mean, gamers are some of the most vocal and relatively onto it people, I'd like to think. I mean, sometimes not about the right things, but, you know, like news travels fast, and bad news especially so.
Yeah. And lastly, 2015, now I've lost it. It was either 2014 or 2015 was Comcast took over the worst company in America.
Yeah, I think 2014.
Yeah, actually, I'd agree with that.
And then they stopped doing it.
Yeah. It was a consumerist, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
But anyway, now, the thing you should take away from all of this, EA is not evil, just some of the higher up people within the company are evil.
Executives are evil.
Is not evil, the executives are. That's
well, from my point of view, the Jedi are evil.
And now we have our review. We have myself and Planting42 reviewing Adventures of Bertram Fiddle 1, A Dreadly Business. Nailed it.
And here we are doing another review for you guys. This one is going to be with ChinDocta himself.
How's it going, everyone?
Doing good tonight, and I am Planting42. I unfortunately haven't been able to be with you lately. Life is difficult.
Yeah, all that GTASC assault you have to deal with, you know.
It is what it is. Every year, there's growing pains.
Shouldn't be the same growing pains, though.
Unfortunately. What you gonna do? So this week we're taking a look at The Adventures of Bertram Fiddle 1, A Dreadly Business. Published by Chorus Worldwide Games and developed by Rumpus Animation. It was released on May 8th of this year on the American marketplace for $4.99. I am not sure, but it's probably close to your regional equivalent around the world.
Yeah, fairly similar. A couple bucks extra, I think, in Australia, but...
So it is unclassified as a point and click on TA. I completely agree. That is all you're doing, pointing and clicking. It says 1 to 2 hours there. I would almost say it might be a little less than that. You know, maybe an hour or a little less. It probably depends on if you have to make a couple tries on those escapes, chase scenes.
Yeah, they are.
That's pretty much.
That's the only difficult part, really. Everything else is pretty straightforward, aside from solving the point and click puzzles, which seem to be in the traditional sense of. It kind of, where it makes sense, but it doesn't really make sense at the same time.
Exactly. Kind of like the weird objects interact in weird ways to solve puzzles, but hey, it works in the fantasy setting it's given, so we'll take it. I guess the plot for this one, you're kind of set like in an old time England. I guess it's supposed to be like Victorian England. And you're playing Bertram Fiddle. Immediately, I thought this character was bizarre. Besides the fact everyone's appearances are just off the wall. He's like an upper class sort of gentleman, kind of. I guess he's got like a steam powered staircase and a servant he keeps locked under his stairs.
Who does all the heavy lifting for him? That's the important thing.
Oh man, I mean, it just that right there. I'm like, okay, well, this is going to be an interesting one. So basically, you're just tasked with exploring parts of London and investigating a murder. And I guess there's also some mile-a-minute puns, dad jokes. You know, depending on what you're interested in, this may or may not be something that makes you smile or groan.
Yeah, it was. Some of them were pretty good, and then others I was disappointed in. Like very early on, you unlock a door with a key, and fits like a key, as expected. And it's just, that one was a miss for me, but there were some hits.
I wish I could think of something that's coming to mind that was just kind of funny. I know there was a Use the Force one, but it was mostly like Monty Python kind of humor.
Yeah, if you're fond of that British style humor, you'll definitely get your enjoyment out of this. Probably comparable to Her Majesty's Spiffing in terms of humor.
Good comparison. Yes.
Yeah.
The achievements in the Adventures of Bertram Fiddle 1, Dreadly Business, they're pretty straightforward. There's only 10 of them. 1 for completing each chapter of the story, 2 for completing the chase scenes. There's two different chase scenes, and then 4 more for collectible kind of achievements, things you got to either look at or interact with as you play.
Yep, and you have to pretty much do that from the start of the game, but it's a short game. It's only maybe an hour long, depending on whether you're using a guide and how stuck you get and how long the chase scenes might take you, but it's reasonably short, so it's not too much of a hassle having to go back and recollect things.
True. And yeah, with it being that short, it's not horrible to have to do a second cleanup if you need to. But in any case, if you're using a guide, yeah, sub-hour completion still possible. Gameplay-wise, you're looking at just your average kind of point-and-click interface, using things from your inventory is just as you would expect if you're used to playing a point-and-click kind of game. I mean, to me, it struck me just like your average Artifacts Mundi kind of play style. I mean, different UI, but the same kind of feel to it.
Yeah. Yep. And it is
also,
play anywhere, so because I played this on the computer, which made things much easier. The pointing and clicking was actually pointing and clicking instead of slowly scrolling over and using,
Definitely agree. Yeah, I was going to point that out too. Play anywhere is definitely an improvement if you have the ability to. It's noted it's a 64-bit operating system, so depending on what you're running, it may be problematic, but most of us should be okay.
Yeah.
Graphics-wise, it's kind of like a cel-shaded, cartoony feel. Especially when you take a look at how these people appear on screen. Everyone's got bizarro appearances, whether it be like one eye or ginormous noses, or everyone's got huge heads. It's just
it's a stylistic choice they've gone with, and it works. It'll hold up in a couple of years' time, at least in terms of how it looks.
I think so, exactly. And for me, the fact that it's not just a pixel art game, I appreciate it. Although there are a lot of decent ones out there that have good gameplay. It's nice to see developers taking advantage of all of their options, shall we say?
Yeah, bit of a flood at the moment with pixel art.
So I guess so for Adventures of Bertram Volume 1. For a $5 game, I think it delivers more content than some of the recent releases we've seen. It's got a slew of dad jokes and puns, and a very different take on exploring England. I'd say it's a pass. Let's give it. If you've got it out there, give it a shot.
Yeah, definitely. I wouldn't even bother waiting for a sale. $5 is more than cheap enough to, for 1,000 Gamerscore on a reasonably good point-and-click adventure game.
And worth noting also, it's not quite as low TA as your average, 1 hour completion. So if you're trying to use this as points, you actually still get like 150 or so for that hour's worth of gameplay. Not bad.
That is good, yeah.
I guess back to you guys then.
All right, that was a fantastic review that I did with the help of Warren on that game. I do recommend it at $5. I don't think there's any need for a sale, but the later episodes are priced at $10, so maybe wait for, I think, $8 or less you could get away with. But yeah, still pretty good. As for, oh my god, I haven't looked at what Gamerscore I got. Oh, it's going to be a lot of Gamerscore. I'm going to quickly do that while I talk. This week it's pretty much been Bean Dive, and that's it. It's just been like Bean Dive, Bean Dive, Bean Dive, Bean Dive, Bean Dive. So, I did finish the visual novel I was talking about last week, Root Double Before Crime Star After Days. It had a total of 81 saves in the walkthrough. 81. I had to load 81 different saves, some of them multiple times. It's a hell of a cleanup. You have to, I guess, experience every scene, which might mean you need to go through each little section multiple times so that you can see every outcome or every sentence and stuff, and all the endings, and there's a ton of bad endings. But I got all my visual novels sorted. I've now just got some non-visual novel Japanese games to dive, which I will get onto that in the next couple of days. most of my Bean Dive talk will come next week when I'm actually finished. I have something good planned, thanks to lovely suggestions from Matt and Cameron. They're not going to spoil it, I promise, but it's going to be terrible or brilliant. Probably both.
Definitely both.
Yeah. So that's going to be for next week. It will be worth it, though. Probably it won't be worth it, but I'll do it anyway.
No, it definitely won't be.
No, I've hyped this up way too much now. Everyone's going to be disappointed. I did briefly play some Realm Royale last night because they've had their first birthday celebration or something like that. So they gave people who played the game a free chicken skin, because when you get downed, you turn into chicken and can run away, and some coins. They also brought out a new battle pass, so I've purchased that with the coins I had on the account. I didn't have to buy any more, luckily. So the other thing, and I've read up about it, so now it's just annoying, but at first I was just super confused, is they'd wiped my rank in all my queues. So essentially they'd gotten rid of all the wins I had to reset everything back to 0. And this is something they're going to be doing with every battle pass. Every new battle pass that comes out, they're going to wipe your rank back to 0. Yeah. Which doesn't really matter because I live in Australia, and it just means I'll have to fight 99 bots instead of 99.
I was going to say, it's purely the fact that you're not a bot.
Still not going to match up with anyone. But because apparently there's a reasonable amount of players in the US servers, you're still mostly bots, but if you're at, the master, so that's when you get 50 wins, you get put into master, and it just starts calculating your skill based on your best kills per round. So if you have 50 rounds of 10 kills, you'll have a score of 500. Upwards of that is more kills, etc. If you then get deranked and play with someone who maybe has just started the game, that's not fun for them, because they don't, you're being put specifically with other people with similar skills. Now you're being put with everyone, and that just stopped. I guess you get more people within a match and less bots.
Yeah, I guess you're unintentionally smurfing people.
Yeah, you're not making it fun for those who've just started and don't know what guns are good and don't know what abilities they like. And
sure, but with the amount of people who actually play that game, maybe they're just trying to get everyone together. So they build their matchmaking system too well that people have ranked up so much that they have to bring them back down again so people can match up with each other instead of just getting bots every time.
Yeah, and that's what I imagine they've done. But my 50 plus wins on solo with my 560 points is gone. Gonna have to see. I worked hard for that. I grinded at that so I could get that, and now it's just been reset. I'm like, I guess I'm just gonna max out the battle pass and then leave. But yeah, that's gonna be fun. The battle pass looks good though. There's 3 cool looking mounts. There's some skins for the mage and the assassin who don't ever use. So that's nice, I guess. But no, it looks pretty good. Lastly, I carried and completed Borderlands 2 Tiny Tina's Assault on Dragon Keep on the Xbox One. I honestly don't know how the people I was with would have done it without me.
Well, they must have been very, very lucky.
Yeah, they were extraordinarily lucky that I managed to get my amazing illegitimate weapons. And no, I played with these 2 fools, and we had fun. We did alright. Pulled some swords out of some skeletons. Did some rounds of arena. Didn't have any mishaps regarding the arena at all. Everything
no trapdoors.
No trapdoors in the floor to spikes.
Definitely.
Everything went smoothly. It was definitely fantastic.
Dice rolls first time?
Yeah, definitely didn't prevent anyone getting close range shotgun kills at all. That was anything that happened was unintentional, but it was lots of fun. I really enjoyed that DLC. It was in the middle of my Bean Dive stream, and I got so throughout the levels there's chests that have dice on top, and you need to roll either a 1 or a 20 with these dice to earn an achievement. we got to the end of this section where there's a ton of chests, and we all got it. Shadowless already had it earlier, but Matt and I both got it. And I got a natural double 1. So I got 2 1s with 2 dice on the same roll, and I'm hoping I can download that stream and watch that clip, and then put it up somewhere, because that's the luck to get 2 natural 1s, and then I just got exploded off the map. But no, it was very fun, and I ended up with, I'm currently sitting on 6,636 Gamerscore. I'm really annoyed that I didn't check this earlier and get another 30. I'm quite disappointed in myself. But yeah, that's been my week. Didn't get any random to-do list because it's all been dive, but it'll be dive for the next couple of days and then back into it. Which one of you wants to go?
Yeah, I'll go next. That's a pretty good week.
Yeah.
Good job.
I'm happy.
Yeah, good job, buddy. That put you at the top, I think, probably, considering how the rest of us look.
Yeah, I'm definitely above Alex, which is all that really matters.
Yeah, fair enough. We'll have to remind him when he gets back. So I've been working on Gears of War 2 Japan, as usual. Still grinding, still really boring. Haven't made a lot of progress, but, we'll get there eventually. Time zones are always difficult, because I live in the middle of nowhere.
Oh, and you're doing it with the Americans, basically, aren't you?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, some Canadians and people on the West Coast. So it's not as bad as if they were East Coast, and I'll talk more about that in a minute. But there's still a lot of grinding to do in that game. Same sort of stuff I talked about last week. Tyler Model 005. So this is an indie game that I picked up a while back, and I started it just because I needed an easy game to get through to get some points, and I got halfway through the tutorial, and I just turned it off and uninstalled it. And I didn't play it for like 2 months. And so anyone who knows me being a completionist, that's the kind of thing I don't normally do with video games. Part of it was that I wasn't in a great mood, but second of all, the game is just really bad. Like, in a way that is really kind of sad, because it has a lot of potential. There's a lot of good ideas there, but the execution is just awful. The game is basically, you're a little robot who has to try and figure out where his creator is gone, and you team up with another robot, and you just go around a house trying to find cores and plug in switches and stuff like that. It's a cute little idea. The story, it's very British. There's a lot of, it's obviously takes place in Britain. There's a lot of iconography and the accents and everything. There's an element of time travel in there, but they have a mechanic where you can press in the left stick and rewind time, like you did in something like Sands of Time. But like, it feels like first of all, it doesn't get used for any puzzles. The only time you use it is when you screw up the really bad platforming and try to reset yourself. So really, they realized how bad their game was and put in a mechanic and put in a story reason for the mechanic to make their game less bad. You also have to travel from light source to light source because you run on solar power and your battery's drained in like 5 seconds. It's just like, there's so many really interesting ideas with it, but it just doesn't really work. But the worst part about it is the actual platforming itself. It has a grabbing system, so if you hold down the jump button, you'll grab onto whatever ledges are around you. The big problem with that is you can actually grab ledges that are higher than you can jump, so you'll actually jump and then suddenly teleport to a ledge that's slightly higher than you. But not all the ledges, just some of them. So you kind of have to just sort of jump aimlessly towards objects to see which ones you stick to like a magnet. But you're going around a house. You're miniature size, so you're climbing on books and shelves and chairs and that sort of stuff. But the other problem with the game is that the signposting is really bad for where you're supposed to go. I mean, you get an idea of like, you can click a button and it'll say, oh, hey, I saw a key in the rafters. You should climb up there. But the way, like, it's built like a real house. So a lot of the time you're like, okay, I can climb up these shelves and then do like a weird jump around a rafter. So like, you jump and sort of direction yourself and try and land. And you're thinking, am I breaking the game doing this? Like, am I am I like sequence breaking and trying to sneak around, or using the jank of the game to try and actually skip bits? But a lot of the time, there's no other way up. You're like, oh, actually, no, this is how the developer intended it. There's no real pathing. You just have to kind of muddle your way through a sandbox in a way that's really unintuitive. And also, there are no good guides for it currently. People in the Steam guides are people just complaining about the game and how it's unplayable. And the Xbox guides, I mean, I wrote a couple of them just because I figured them out, and I was like, well, no one else knows about this apparently, so I'll just write it down. It's a relatively quick completion. It's 4 to 5 hours, so it's not the end of the world. If you get a good sale on it, and you can hit me up for some questions if you don't know what you're doing. I can run you through it. But yeah, I think it really needs a good guide to give an idea of just the way to easily get through it. Oh, and all the collectibles are randomized, so you need to collect certain amounts of costume pieces to unlock achievements for putting on the right pieces, but the pieces are all in. The placements are the same, but the one you get in each place is always different. So guides can't tell you which one's which. You just kind of have to just figure out what's around. What else was there? Battle Chasers Night War. So this is an excellent game that I played for about 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, so I basically accidentally bean dived it. I started up being like, okay, cool, watched the intro cinematic, did the sort of tutorial fight, went out to the world map, and then got distracted by some other stuff that was going on. So I ended up with 1 achievement on it this week for finishing the tutorial. I'm meaning to get back to it. I'm hopefully going to do some more of it this coming week. It looks really, really good, but it is one of those things that's going to be a 60 to 100 hour completion, so probably not the best thing to be playing during G-Task, but we'll see how it goes. I played Borderlands 2 with these scrubs. I was doing all the killing, obviously, with my level 30 and my 100% legal weapons. I was not just hiding in a corner and letting them do all the fighting for me. And if anyone pulls up that stream from Chin, I will absolutely sue you. He better not make that available as a download.
Oh, there was so much trash we talked that night.
It was good. It was a good time, actually. I haven't played Borderlands 2 in a long time. Shadow and I have been working on it for a fair while. On the other DLCs, just because I had a character from the original 360 version, and so I had to bring one over, but a lot of those achievements don't carry over. So I pretty much had to start a new game, but just with someone to run me through it. So it's been a lot of fun. There's a few more achievements to get. I need to get a purple relic. Hit me up, anyone who has one.
Have you not done the keys like I've told you to?
I didn't get anything from the keys. There was nothing. I was just getting trash stuff. Rocket launchers.
I have a solution for that. Get more keys.
Yeah, okay, yes. You're starting to sound like Neverwinter. Speaking of which, I just got the grindy achievement for the mod for getting 500 relics. So that was the thing I was talking about earlier, where you can only do 3 times a day. You get 9 relics per run total. So you can get 27 a day. You need to get 500. So it's taken me about 2-3 weeks. So I just got that. There's only 1 achievement left in the mod for finishing the dungeon, but the dungeon's so difficult that most people are telling me that get good scrub, and that they won't run me through it. So I was like, well, okay, that's fine. So we're going to try and get a group together to run through that at some stage, but people don't seem to be having too much fun with this mod. Which is, pretty much to be expected, because they pretty much changed everything. I also played a bit of a blast from the past, Ghost Recon Future Soldier, which is actually really fun. I'd forgotten how cool that game was. I saw a session for the Guerrilla mode, which is the 4-player horde mode that they did. So I jumped onto that. We did a bunch of boosting. That was actually really, really cool. So with 4 people, you can kind of just fly through it. We only had struggled with a couple of the waves where the helicopters showed up. But, so that took about 2.5 hours. And then we've also been boosting a lot of the multiplayer achievements, because I realized I'd done most of the single player, but I basically hadn't touched the multiplayer since it came out. So I worked on a bit of that, got a couple of achievements there. Still a fair amount left to do. There's still a lot of win 3 matches on each of the maps and do this, that, and the other with doing friends challenges and that sort of stuff. So I'll probably be working on that. Hopefully, if I can get a few more sessions up. But a lot of the time, the team I was working with were on the East Coast, so trying to organize times is an absolute nightmare. Because we're, 16 hours ahead, which is pretty much the worst time possible. It means you can pretty much only play with them when it's Saturday here and Sunday there, and even then, it's still have to get up at 7 in the morning. Not that I'm complaining. And then, just last night I started on some Guitar Hero 3 with our very own anti-gloom perimeter, also known as the Shadowless Edge. So we're working on the 500 wins for that. I managed to get my long road ahead for 100 games played within the first 5 minutes, which I believe is on Shadow's random to-do list, so I'm sure he was thrilled about that.
I have only nice things to say to you about that. Only nice things.
Yeah, no, you seem like very supportive and helpful. So we'll probably be playing a bit more of that over the next few weeks or so to just grind out the 500 wins for the rank stuff. And then I guess I got to find someone who's as good as I am at Guitar Hero to 5-star all the songs on co-op. And by as good as I am, I mean you're probably using a Cronus or something.
Yeah, that sounds like someone equally skilled.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so I need a Cronus and then maybe a Titan, and I'll face them off against each other to see how well they do. So for me, that's 2,500 Gamerscore for the week. So not a great week for me, but doing okay. I've still got to jump onto Woodle Tree Adventures next week and that sort of stuff. So we'll see how that goes.
Oh, that'd be good. For anyone who wasn't aware, that was an improv name for Cameron, because that's not what he had written down. Because Cameron looked ahead and saw the joke, so he had to improv something. That was fantastic. That was really good.
I mean, if I had $1 for every name,
you'd have like $10.
Oh, mate, you're going to be a
Give
millionaire.
yourself a double down.
Oh, hello. All right.
Throw back to something no one else will hear.
Wait, what? What did I miss?
Double downs?
What are you playing this week?
Oh, okay, yeah. So I played Borderlands 2 with Smith Slave and ChinDocta. No.
Yeah, I deserve that one.
I feel like I've missed something here.
Smith Slave, yeah.
I'll find
You
out
watch The
later.
Matrix?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Opposites attract. Anyway. So yeah, I've been doing the DLCs with Neomaster.
Wow. That's a stretch. I'm sorry. Oh.
You got it? No, you got it? You picked it up? Do you pick it up what he's putting down? Double down?
Triple down, triple stacker. Alright, anyway, moving on. I'm absolutely hating my glitched achievements because I ported over my level 72 character to help Neo finish the DLCs for Borderlands 2, and for whatever reason, the shadowless edges around Hammerlock's DLC just do not work. Like, we basically got to the point where I sent 20 pictures or 20 pictures or so of that map, trying to figure out what I'm missing, and just nothing works. But most of the time just finishing off the DLCs. Finished Tiny Tina with ChinDocta as well on the Friday night stream, and I think personally myself I've only got 5 achievements to go. I'm not sure about you.
Yeah, about the same for me.
Yeah, just finishing off a few glitched ones and then just side quests. Anyway, moving on. Started Disney Infinity 2.0 last night, working on 2 of the achievements for RDTL.
For what?
No, I got it.
What now? What does that spell? What does that spell out? What does that spell out?
Random to-do list. I marked it up, didn't I?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Random
RTD. Yeah. Anyway.
RT.
Anyway. Random to-do list.
The RDTF.
Yeah, cool. So.
I just.
Oh boy, careful! You
While
were
you're
setting that
distracted.
explicit tag there.
While
Anyway.
you're distracted, I have 31 achievements left in Borderlands 2. You want to just do them for me?
I'm sorry, I thought you were doing the carrying.
Yeah.
No?
But it's
Okay.
just like.
Anyway,
I
back
can
to
carry you.
back
to what's important
for me.
back to Disney Infinity, which is clearly the better game here.
3.0.
I need a level 20 and a wave 50, which I've messaged Alex and Cooper about and have been told they're an absolute living hell and you're going to be wasting 4 to 5 hours of your life. So, yay. And for whatever reason, I decided to pause the game last night, wake up at 4 a.m. again, and start it, and die within 5 minutes, resetting my progress.
What wave were you up to?
I was onto like wave 22. So I guess it was about an hour and a half. So I need to get to level 20 anyway. It's not that bad. I just shouldn't have done it in hindsight. So yeah, there's that for my random to-do list. I've been also working on the online achievements for Burnout Paradise, if you weren't aware. Already, servers go down at the end of the month, 1st of August, I believe. Anyway, I finished my online stuff. Special thanks to... Oh, he's marked out this name. J Black? I know how to type it. I don't know how to pronounce it. Anyway, Mike Pitch, Matriarch.
What have you written there?
What? What?
I'll fix it for you, and then you can have another go.
Anyway.
Yeah, I'll fix the name for you. Have another go.
It hasn't. Let me have a look. I don't know.
What is it?
Okay,
what is it with people having names you can't understand on this show?
I don't.
You had JBLAQU.
Okay. Well.
It's JBLACQ.
Okay.
J-Block.
Okay. Well, yeah, I played with him. Nice guy. I haven't really played with him before. And we made a game out of sharing Xbox Live Vision camera stuff to the point where it got to, like, pirate-themed. Don't ask questions.
I used to do that with Uno, but with less clothes.
How do you put an eye patch on your...
Don't ask questions you don't want the answers to. Anyway,
mate, this is a stream. I can get the costume.
Black ankle sock or something?
Sure.
Anyway, yeah, no, I had a lot of fun with Burnout Paradise. The other stuff, like the gates and the signs, I'm probably not going to have as much fun with cleaning up. But, I mean, the online stuff's done for now.
Cleanup's always not as fun.
Cleanup's no fun. Lego Forza DLC came out a little bit ago, just after E3. Absolutely love this DLC, except for, like, 1 or 2 of the harder challenges. One of my favourite moments of this that I had to say was I actually played with Planting 42's avatar and just continuously used it to help me boost. So thank you, Planting, for your unintended help. And I think I have 3 more challenges and I'm completely done with the DLC. Returning my Forza. Yeah, I'll get back to full completion on that game, and then hopefully I can finish Forza Horizon 3 sometime this year. What else have I been doing? I did Aftercharge a little bit with Cooper and some others, which in effect makes my GTAS score worse. Thanks, Cooper.
Yeah, that decay 8.
It's pretty brutal.
Storm.
I had to use my bonus because of the decay. I just got to a point yesterday where I'm like, I'm spending all day with my daughter. I'm probably not going to be able to do anything about this. I'm just going to use it just in case. I think I was like 4 points away from being disqualified if I hadn't used it. So, I mean, I could have saved it, but it was just too close to call. And I didn't want to be a first week scrub. Week 10 or bust. Yeah. Other than that, basically been working on the random to-do list.
That sounds about right.
That sounds alright, cool.
I've heard of that.
So yeah, worked on Project Cars, got a quick 5-minute achievement, which is just getting your temperature up on your tyres, which I think I raced the Formula 1 car, got it up to like 6 or 7 gear, and then just immediately braked. Yeah, worked perfectly. Orange Box was running, using cheats to get to a certain chapter, and then running over 20 zombies? What are the monsters in Half-Life 2?
Head crabs. Head crab zombies.
Okay. Because I haven't, as much as everybody loves this game, I haven't really played Half-Life games, so I don't know if I'm referring to it right. Neo is shaking his head in disapproval.
Unbelievable. Orange Box is great.
Not realizing what a scrub I am, and the fact that I joined at the start of this generation, not last. Anyway, Final Fantasy 15, the Pocket Edition. I had one achievement for, I can't remember what the city's name is. It's like one of the biggest maps in the game, and it's basically talking to everybody until the chat options expire. I had one of these last month as well. I like this game. I don't like the achievements. They just feel a little too glitchy for me. And I don't know if it's me doing something wrong or if it's just... Because sometimes they just pop instantly, and other times it's like, well, I can't tell if I've done something wrong. I'm just going to have to reset the chapter.
So are the achievements the same as the original? Because I have the Pocket Edition, I just haven't started it yet. I
can't confirm that. I do believe it's a different list for the most part. Chin, you haven't really done that much in it either, have you?
I haven't been listening. What?
Final Fantasy 15 Pocket Edition compared to Final Fantasy 15 Normal Edition. Different lists, much? Or
yeah, different.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's reasonably different. They're glitchy, and you just gotta maybe delete your save, which is never ideal, but...
Oh, perfect. I'm looking forward to that.
And it has the fun feature too of, if you're doing a current chapter and you get halfway through that chapter and you want to get another random to-do list achievement, try and exit out of that chapter. No, we're not going to let you. We're going to make you finish the whole chapter before you can even touch anywhere else in the game. Just that mechanic.
Perfect.
Just hate it. Moving on, Warhammer End Times, Vermintide. Just killing enemies in the first level. Very easy. Knocked it out pretty quickly. Shape-shifting detective. Look, I really liked most of this game. Just the ending, it's got multiple endings, but I feel like it was meant to be building up to something a lot more than what it was. And I don't know, I've got a few cleanup achievements now to just guess the killer the first time. I mucked it up at the very end. Probably should have gone with the creepy guy that was abducting girls. Hindsight's a wonderful thing. Other two things are pretty much Guitar Hero 2 and 3, doing a bit of boosting with Neo. 2, going back to this was just such a nostalgia trip. There's so many songs on 2 that I love. There's like Carry On Wayward Son, Freebird. I can't remember. Killing the Name. Just there's so many songs that I love on 2. Radium Eyes.
The only problem is that they're all terrible covers rather than the originals.
I don't know. Like, look, when I was a teenager playing this for the first time, it just took me back. I remember having my old plastic PS2 guitar and just trying to get 5 gold stars every single song. Anyway, yeah, Guitar Hero 3, working on the achievement that Neo somehow got like 5 minutes into our boosting session last night.
It's just better than you.
Yeah, maybe not.
Maybe I'm just lucky.
Yeah, maybe just luck. But yeah, working on the 500 wins at the moment, which is just a barrel of fun. It's going to be a slow ride.
Oh, God. Right. I should have seen that one coming.
Just take it easy.
Yeah, I'm taking... Oh, boy. This is going to be a long show.
And yeah, the last thing, against all will, I bought Lumo. And... just ducks. Just quack, quack. No, but anyway... I'm working on an endgame achievement for this one for the random to-do list, and just I'm collecting everything as I go along. And the first worry I had was pretty much a minute into the game, you can get an achievement by watching a demo on a TV screen, which is basically a parody of Hit My Ride. Achievement popped, crashed my game, crashed my console. Never a good sign. So yeah, I've played a few hours of this now. It's growing on me a little. It's okay in my book now. But there's a mechanic where you have to jump onto a duck, which is above, I guess, a pool of deadly water, or just falling through the map. I don't know what you would want to call it, but as soon as you die, that voids the whole achievement. So you have to exit out of the game, reload the game in order to do it. These jumps are hard. Getting the timing, you have to be very precise. And I mean, look, I'm gonna persevere and I'm gonna get it done, but it's just a question of when. But yeah, that's my gaming for the week. It was mostly just picking up a few quick things for random to-do list and starting on a few heavier stuff and getting Burnout Paradise done. So I had a small 15-20 this week. But yeah, hopefully in the next few weeks it picks up a bit.
Alright, so that's what we've been doing. We'll move on to our sales and other information. We have a bunch of games coming into Game Pass, both on the PC and the Xbox Game Pass. So, coming onto both PC and Xbox, we have Middle-earth: Shadow of War. That's already in. It was in July 4th. My Time at Portia on July 4th as well. Blazing Chrome is July 11th, and that's day and date. Dead Rising 4 is July 11th. And that's everything that's coming to both PC and Xbox Game Pass. Just PC, we have Undertale came in at July 4th, and Time Spinner on July 11th, and Unavowed on July 11th as well. All three of those are going into PC Game Pass, and Lego City Undercover on July 11th is going to just Xbox Game Pass. Leaving Game Pass, we have
just on those three PC games. I don't think any of those have achievements.
Time Spinner maybe it's got an Xbox list for the Xbox version, so it may. Undertale did not. I severely doubt Unavowed will. It's a very small, I think it's a one-person dev maybe even. So I severely doubt it's going to get a list. Games leaving Game Pass. Well, if you're listening to this on Tuesday, maybe Wednesday, then Aftercharge has already left on July. That left on July 9th. July 11th, Warhammer Vermintide 2 leaves, and on July 16th, the Lego Movie, the game leaves Xbox Game Pass on the 16th, I said. Yep, definitely. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Nailed it.
As for the sales, I feel like there was something I missed. There's definitely something I missed in sales. That's alright, I'm going to add it on the floor. No, I didn't miss it. I used it as my recommendation. I was like, why is it not there? We have, in our quick point section, we have 6180 The Moon, which is 50% off and $1.99. That's crazy. That's a very good deal. Very good platformer. Planet of the Eyes, 70% off, $2.99. Spencer, 35% off, $4.54. Siggy, A Fight from Melusina, is 40% off, $2.99. And The Path of Motus is 45% off, $8.24. We have Easy Points. We have Alteric is 50% off, $2.49. That's an asterisk because it has a low ratio. I've completed it, but I know plenty of people who got frustrated and gave up on the game. Specifically, I think level 24 is really, really painful. But it's one of those ones that if you just keep banging your head on the brick wall, eventually you'll get it done. There's maybe blood and tears, but you'll get it done. Celeste is 40% off, $11.99 if you happen to miss it in January's Games with Gold. This is a very good game because you can use assist mode and essentially get through pretty much the entire game really easily. It's also, because it was Games with Gold, it's at 2200 TA, so it's very good for GTASC. The difference to 1200 points in probably 5 hours? 5 hours?
Yeah, you
maybe?
can probably do it in that. There's the one achievement for the PC. We have to be a little bit good at the game, but other than that, yeah.
There is one achievement that you can't use assist mode, but other than that, you get most of it in that time. Embers of Miram is 70% off, $5.99. Ginger Beyond the Crystal, 67% off, $6.59. Hue is 80% off and $2.99. Omega Strike, 67% off, $3.95. The Assembly, 40% off, $11.09. And Yoku's Island Express, 67% off, $6.59. I will note, though, that Yoku's is supposed to be coming to Game Pass sometime in the near future, so maybe don't get the sale if you have Game Pass, because it'll likely be in there in the next couple months. As for recommendations, here's the game that I've lost and now I just found. I'm suggesting everyone buys Refunct this week. It's 50% off. It's $1.49. It was already worth it at the $3 or whatever you were going to pay before, but for half off, definitely get it. It's a platformer. There's a speedrun achievement for doing it within 4 minutes, but it's very doable, and there are great video guides out there. You may get motion sick with it. I could see people getting motion sick because it is the way the camera works with your first person view. I could imagine people getting motion sick, but it's a really fun game, and I highly recommend it. It's probably 1 to 2 hours for the completion, assuming you don't struggle with that speed run for a really, really long time. Matt, what are you suggesting people get?
Well, I'm going to cheat. I'm going to say 2 things. First one would be Guacamelee 2 Complete Edition. Is 60% off at $8.99. So I mentioned that last week. It was a fantastic game, and the DLC really helps flesh out some of because the game's not super long, so the extra DLC is actually quite a lot of fun. But it is more of the same. Great game though. The proving grounds are a little bit difficult, but if you can get through the main game on hard, you can do probably the rest of it. And the other thing I'd recommend is A Hat in Time, which is 50% off for $14.99. So it's still a little bit expensive, but The Hat in Time is a fantastic game. It harkens back to a lot of the old Mario, sort of like Mario Sunshine level or Mario Galaxy sort of platforming. A lot of funny humor, a lot of really cute imagery, and actually quite an interesting story. Yeah, I definitely recommend that.
Yeah, it's a little bit weird, isn't it? I don't know. It is a good story. It's just weird.
Yeah, it's very strange.
The murder on the train level. And it's just...
It makes no sense. And all the crows asking you for all your personal information to use against you.
Yeah. Cameron, what should people buy from this sale?
I'm going to recommend Layers of Fear. Just excellent horror base game. 75% off for $4.99. I just reckon it's worth a pickup. It's about... My understanding of it is just an artist's descent into madness. It's been a while since I played it, but I can't think of anything but good things about it.
Oh, it's as good a reason as any to recommend it. Okay. Now, while I'm doing my stuff in the background that I totally forgot I was going to do for later. Right, purchases. Matt, it looks like you're not picking up anything in the sale.
I got a couple things I might look at, but nothing that's jumping out at me. There's Mother Gunship, which is apparently like a first-person shooter roguelite sort of thing. I'm not 100% sure.
Have you played Tower of Guns?
Yes, that's kind of what I was thinking it would be like.
It's same developers, so it's that, but more expensive.
Cool. So I might grab that. But the sale is, it's half price, so that's probably about right. I saw Home Sweet Home, which looks like a survival horror game. It looks alright, although the sale's not as good as I'd like. Fumiko, which I think is a platformer, but I don't really know much about. I kind of want to watch some videos about that. And Pankapu, which...
Yeah, really. You're picking the names, aren't you, this week?
Yeah, I know, right? Which is a really good sale, but another platformer. I don't know. Platformers are really hit and miss for me. So we'll have a look, but I'm not planning on buying anything quite yet.
All right. Cameron, anything this sale you looking to pick up?
The only thing that's a definite at this stage is probably the Haunted Halloween, just for the easy 1 hour completion. I might actually go Ultimate Chicken Horse though as well. I hear really good things.
Yeah, it's a fun game. Do you have 3 controllers?
I have probably 8, so yeah, should be fun.
That's right. I only asked if you had 3.
Okay, yes, I have more than 3, so that's fine.
Okay, yeah, no, you need at least 3 to run it through yourself, so that's good. Okay, and I don't know if the sales are big enough yet, but I'm gonna think about A Plague Tale: Innocence. I feel like the sale's probably not big enough for me to buy it just yet, but we'll see how I feel later in the week. And the Talos Principle is on sale. I think it's half off, down from like 50, so...
Yeah, it's still pretty steep.
Yeah,
Still steep,
25.
But
yeah,
we'll see how I'm feeling.
Plague Tale: Innocence, I would recommend trying to find a disc copy, because it's a relatively short game. It's only about 10 hours, but it's a 9 out of 10 for me on that. Like that's up there for my potential game of the year. Like, it's a fantastic game.
And it's physical. That's good to know. Okay.
Yep.
Maybe I'll get it that way. Alright, so now we have new games coming out this week. On Wednesday we have Doling's Invasion, which is... It's not really a sequel to Doling's Arcade. It's like a shoot-'em-up version, whereas Doling's Arcade was like a brick breaker. But, still pretty interesting apparently. Just got the same characters, but they do different things. We also have, as I've clicked away, we also have Grass Cutter Mutated Lawns, which is the new Sometimes You game. Reasonably easy completion. I think 3 to 4 hours is the estimated time. I didn't check the price, but I'm sure it's probably at that $7-8 price that Sometimes You put them at. And Soul Seraph, which I know nothing about, except that when it was mentioned in the staff Discord, some people got excited. So now I'm going to quickly look and see why it's interesting. Oh, it's a real-time strategy game made by the Sega team who do the Ace Combat series.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah, that's about all I was going to say as well. Interesting. On Thursday we have Blazing Chrome, as I said earlier. That'll be into Game Pass immediately. On Friday we have Streets of Rogue, Agalos, Lethal Leg Blaze, and Redeemer Enhanced Edition. And on Tuesday we have Lost Orbit, Terminal Velocity. So those are all the new games. There's not really a big hitter in there, but can't always have amazing weeks. Here's something I totally forgot about earlier and was just reminded when Cameron mentioned it. We have a little mini G-Task roundup of that I was paying attention to. I didn't actually get a chance to do it on the Real Gamerscore account, so I just did it on mine and sort of recognised, yes, this is a person who I know who is kind of a member of the community. So on the solo side, we've had closest to cutoff was Montana 97. He was in 1,777th position. Cutoff was 1,899, so he really wasn't that close, at least in terms of position. He had 139 True Achievement difference and was 59 above cutoff. Our highest flyer was Secular Forever, who was in 65th position with 4,034 True Achievement difference. I didn't see who got eliminated because I wasn't paying attention to that bit, as long as it wasn't me, and it wasn't Cameron's team, so lucky for them. They've got another week to prove they won't get eliminated again. Speaking of teams, we have our closest to cutoff team was TCP, which is Captain Cookie 1, Thor's Bald Eagle, and Perpetual Diver Mad Eye Pad Eye. They were in 499th position. Cutoff was 524th and below. They were at 1,160 True Achievement difference, which was only 93 above cutoff. And our highest team was Video Game of Thrones, who was Secular Forever, our solo highest flyer, Nibirios and Omgesus. I'm sure it's Omgesus, and I've now annoyed Zus. I'm sorry, Zus. I love you still. Don't hurt me. She's staff.
Heals us it out.
She'll bash me. Yeah, I think she's mod, so she'll bash me.
Oh, well, now you've done it.
Yeah. They were in 32nd position with 7,797 true achievement difference. I also did not see who got eliminated this week, but that'll be in next week's roundup. I'll make sure I pay attention to that. Milestones, more me talking. You're so lucky that you guys just get to hear me talk and talk and talk. Enigma Gamer 77 has reached a new milestone of 45% completion percentage, which doesn't sound like much, but that's once you start getting a lot of games onto your tag, it's really hard to get those 5% jumps that we look for. Keith 271179 has reached 50% completion percentage. Angel SK has reached 500 games played thanks to her bean dive. Prue has reached 750 games played. And then we have a bunch of achievement 1 milestones. We have Guitar Stu with 6,000 achievements won, Valak C with 7,000 achievements won, Massage with 14,000 achievements won, Daniel JJ14 with 17,000 achievements won, and Mad Eye Pad Eye with 28,000 achievements won. Kronos has reached 300,000 Gamerscore, and our very own Professor Pluto has reached 600,000 True Achievement Score. So proud of him. It's not quite a 2 ratio, so step up your game, buddy. Actually, now I've got to check who's got a higher ratio. I'm sure it's going to be him, but
I was going to say, mate, glass houses, stones, mate.
Yeah. I'm just going to vamp. He has a ratio of 1.5904. I don't think this is going to be good for me.
Yeah, probably not.
1.6064.
Sorry, 1.7769 for me, buddy. So, get good.
Yeah, you also have a million gamer score, so just give me some time.
1.66.
Yeah, I'm not going to be at 1 point. I'm not going to be above 1.6, but at a million game score. If anything, I'm going to be way lower.
The Rattlelacker games won't play themselves yet.
Yeah, yet. That's right. The SNK 40th anniversary does. Yeah. So you can essentially watch the gameplay, pause it right at the end, jump in, and get the achievement for beating the game.
Which one was that?
The SNK 40th anniversary collection. It's like $40 though, so it's really not worth it.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's episode 49. How lovely was that? That was a fantastic little thing we did. Wasn't it great, everyone? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
Oh, was it? Oh, okay.
Yes, it was. Alright? Everyone was happy with it, and they will express the joy they felt while listening to the show, else there may not be a show next week.
Chin, why are you holding a gun to her head?
Have I threatened the listeners yet before? I don't think I've probably threatened them. I think this might be the first.
Help me, trapped in a podcast factory.
Help us!
Hey, Chin, if I wanted to help the podcast out, what would I do?
If you'd like to contact the podcast, Matt, you would email us at hello@realgamerscore.com. You would tweet us at realgamerscore. You would contact us on Discord and talk to us and say, Chin, why was there like a 30-second pause in the last podcast? That was really weird. Why did you do that to everyone? Discord.io/realgamerscore. And because my answer to why there was a 30-second gap was so artistically beautiful, you've decided to donate to us on Patreon monthly at patreon.com/realgamerscore. Feel free to write in questions to the show and we will make sure we answer them. If you want to be on the show, you're out of luck because Alex is away, but you would normally send him stuff. I don't want to hear it. I'm too busy. You'll have to wait till Alex is back and you have to send him a little expression of interest and he'll get you sorted with what needs to be done. If you want to help out the podcast with more things, I'll just keep talking. This is great. I love it. You can subscribe to us on iTunes. You can subscribe to us on Stitcher, on Spotify, on iHeartRadio. Bring that listener count to 2. Come on, you guys can do it. iHeartRadio, it's the way to go. It's the way of the future. Yeah, all those subscriptions help. That helps us go higher up in the visibility. I've had a look, and we are top 50 for gaming podcasts on Spreaker, which is where our stuff is hosted. I think we're like 46th. I'm pretty sure there's more than 50, so there's not just one page of 50 and we're top 50 just by virtue of there only being 50. So
is there 46?
I think we're 46th.
No, but,
higher, but
is there 46 podcasts though?
No, there's more than 50. I just said that. Come on. Pay attention.
Apologies.
At least 51. At least 51.
Saying that, when I've been sharing on Twitter, I'm actually getting podcasts like websites that host podcasts liking our stuff.
Yeah, it's yeah, at least maybe bottom 5 if there are 51 podcasts. Going by the math, right?
Well, we've got that going for us.
Yeah. Top 50, that's what we say. Leave a review on any of your platforms of choice, and we will, if we haven't read them at the end of the month, let us know, because that means our review aggregator is not getting them, and we would like to read them. Tell your friends, retweet us on Twitter, come up with interesting episode names after the fact, and tell me how bad my naming was. That's great. I'm awful at naming the episodes. Tell me how bad it is. Subscribe to us on YouTube, where most of our reviews go. Again, if you really feel like you want to, you can donate to us on Patreon monthly. We greatly appreciate it. You have plenty of time to get in for the July drawing. This is our second July podcast. We've got another 3 to go. So, plenty of time. Cameron, if people wanted to be like, I want to see a picture of this bush that has no shade, how would they get in contact with you?
They would get in contact with me in Discord, on Facebook, on Twitter, in my Facebook group, the Xbox Achievement Community. Or they could just find me behind a bush. There's plenty of places they could find me. But yeah, most places go by Shadowless Edge or Cameron Highland. So, yeah. Or just message me.
Easy. Good. Matt, when people want to compliment your high ratio and high gamer score, where are they going to do that?
Well, as long as they don't have any higher gamer score than I do, send me a friend request on True Achievements or send me a message. Otherwise, hit me up on Discord, and make sure you send any complaints to Illuminated Threshold on Discord. Took him a second. You got it? You Illuminated Threshold? Yeah, okay. Yep.
That's good. At first, I was trying to think, who is that? I thought there was someone came in our Discord with that name, but no, I get it. Yeah. Yeah. See, for a long time, I had the opposite feeling to you. I wouldn't accept friend requests if they were way too low in gamer score.
If it's a 0 point, then it's probably just some bot trying to sell me some enhancement pills. But I'm just going to say, you know who you are, and it was a disaster.
Alright, and if you feel like talking to me, you can find me on Twitter, on Xbox.com, on True Achievements, on Discord, all at ChinDocta. If you want to watch me on Mixer, same tag, ChinDocta. I'm not weird and have to have other tags for other platforms. ChinDocta. Yeah, I've been streaming. I streamed some of my Bean Dive. Oh, Bean Dives take way too long. I've been going since Friday. Still not done. It's ridiculous.
When you have 200 games, yes.
Yeah, no, but even just small chunks of games. Every game. No. Most games need to have a press start achievement. They just need to.
Deadpool 360, Simpsons.
Having to actually play the games that you own. Can you imagine having to do that?
It's disgusting.
It's horrible.
And I'll have a lot to say about it next week. But yeah, no, that's enough of our Bean Dive discussion. That's been episode 49. I had to look and check what number it was. We are 3 episodes away from a year, not of regularly releasing, because we had a small gap around Christmas and New Year's, because dates are just terrible. Both of those were on Tuesday. It was awful. But yes, episode 49. Thank you so much for listening. We hope that you listen to us next week. We'll have a special surprise guest, because Alex will still be away. it's a surprise to everyone except the person that knows. So, and probably other people who know. Everyone who knows, it's not a surprise for. I'm just going to stop. Thank you for listening, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Catch you guys. Have a good one.